This is a podcast by the Business Times, presented by HSBC Singapore.
Much has been said about the digital transformation of the banking industry, originally geared towards making banking more convenient for customers from anywhere in the world. Digitalization has come to mean different things to different consumers. HSBC Singapore, through their engagement with clients, delved deep to understand exactly what is expected of them. Through their Digital Horizons report, they now have a comprehensive guide to develop the capabilities to support both the growth potential and the challenges their clients anticipate in the years to come. We find out more. This is Tech and Finance. I'm Claressa Monteiro. In conversation with me, Priya Kini, Head of Commercial Banking, HSBC Singapore. Priya, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Claressa. Thank you for having me.
HSBC's Digital Horizons report revealed 4 trends that will drive fundamental change and bring new opportunities for businesses through digitalization over the next 10 years. Could you give us an overview of what these 4 trends are before we do a deeper dive into the specifics?
Yeah, thanks, Claressa. A lot has been said about tech and how it's coming and what it's going to do to change our lives. Is it going to take away our jobs? And maybe, we're talking about a whole new world that we're entering.
But that is a real fear.
It is a real fear indeed. And, so that's why we wanted to go into the facts rather than be guided by fears.
Right.
So we commissioned this survey comprehensively covering nearly 3,000 decision makers in companies across 8 markets, including Singapore, of course, but also some of the other markets like UK, US, Hong Kong, and China. And here are the 4 trends that we noted from the survey. And firstly, the focus on borderless business. Number 2, flit organizations. Number 3, inclusive automation. And last but not the least, creative edge. Let me unpack some of those things for you. Borderless business. I think COVID-19 showed us the fragility of global supply chains. I think all of us have experienced delays in receiving the things that we ordered. All companies realized that they need to move to a new era of globalization, where the focus is much more on diversifying supply chains and not being overly reliant on any one factory or any one country from where they source. And this can be done only with technology and digitization. Number 2, what do we mean by inclusive automation? And I think the potential of AI has captured the imagination of businesses and people, but companies will need to think carefully about how to integrate these new technologies and not alienate anybody, whether they're customers or their employees. So it's about making it available, but also about training those who need that training.
Right. Now, Priya, you said that this was a rather comprehensive report looking at different territories. Let's zero in on the Singapore market report's key findings. What business leaders here had to share on digital transformation and its impact on their business. How prepared are they really for the changes, disruptions, and new technologies anticipated in the coming years?
Just for reference, we interviewed about 300 customers in Singapore, so it's quite a wide cross-section of the corporate landscape. Our survey highlights that while Singapore businesses are adapting to the changes, they also want human touch in driving business growth sustainably. Digital technology that empowers individuals rather than replacing them is what everybody is actually quite focused on. So let me share some stats to back this up, right? 83% of the survey respondents are looking at how emerging technologies can help advance employees' skill sets. 82% are actually planning to retrain their workforce, and 81% are investing in new talent in response to rapid advances in technology. So this is all fantastic, and very hearteningly to note that 96% of those surveyed felt that they are prepared for the emergence of new technologies. And that's like almost 100%. So clearly, the landscape is very, very well prepared.
That is very heartening. And I think it should be for all Singaporeans that their bosses are thinking of them, their businesses, their employers, because that is where the fear is coming from. All this automation, all this digitalization, how is it going to impact me?
Absolutely.
But if the bosses are thinking of ensuring that the employees are along for the ride,
yeah,
that's fantastic. I love it.
I'm sure they are, Claressa.
I'm going to ask my bosses if they are going to respond the same way. Now, I found it interesting that while 4 out of 5 felt their companies, as you've indicated, had a strong understanding of how new technologies will impact the future workforce, 6 in 10, however, felt that they weren't responding fast enough in relation to building a future workforce. Now, this is how my brain works and connects dots. Is there an opportunity for HSBC within this data set to support your clients' future needs?
Claressa, you hit the nail on the head. Clearly, for us, there's a lot of takeaways from this report about how we can work with our customers, how we can support them and help them. Where we are working with our customers is to help them think about a transformation map, a roadmap, and thinking about the near term, the medium term, and the long term. So the near term, say in years 1 to 3, the focus has to be for companies on helping employees explore and understand emerging technology and play around with new tools that will have an impact on their businesses. Years 3 to 5 will be about the next step, which is taking it forward into embedding it into the strategic objectives of the company. So beyond just training, beyond just the HR function, and making it core to the business, thinking about which business processes can be changed, what support is needed to change those processes. And I think years 5 to 7 needs to be creating more capacity in the team. It could be hiring the right skill sets into the team. It could be about testing new business ideas, which the new technology enables, which was not possible in the past.
Right. Now, interesting concerns and opportunities were raised through HSBC's Digital Horizons report. But how does the bank itself see these challenges, and what are they doing to address these within their own digital transformation? That's coming up.
This episode of Tech in Finance is presented by HSBC Singapore. And now back to the podcast.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Tech in Finance. I'm Claressa Monteiro, speaking with Priya Kini, Head of Commercial Banking, HSBC Singapore. Priya, leading into the break, you were describing some of the opportunities the team at HSBC had identified as opportunities to support your clients' future needs. Now, this leads me very, very nicely to my next question. How is HSBC itself preparing for the future, not in relation to client needs, but within your own organization's transformation?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question, Claressa. As a very large global organization, we serve our customers in multiple markets, and traditionally, the customers would have to go to every market that they wanted to bank with us, and that can be time consuming. So one of the key things that we rolled out last year was a digital streamlined account opening process, which allows businesses and corporate customers to actually open accounts for multiple business entities in multiple markets through one single portal. I mean, it's hugely powerful for customers, and those who've used it they've been absolutely delighted. Let me share another example. Typical trade finance processes take many days and sometimes even weeks. Our new solution is called HSBC Trade Pay. It's a digital solution for trade loans, and businesses can draw funding within less than a minute by uploading certain documents, and makes payments to their suppliers instantaneously. Hugely powerful and huge cost saver, huge time saver for our customers. And just as we are expecting our customers to get more digital, I think we are enabling them to get more digital as well. So these are some of the examples. Claressa, I could go on and on,
I was going to say, you've got all this information from the Digital Horizons report, and it's obviously already guiding bank strategies. Now, one of the things that seems to be a takeaway is that in the next years, your clients' needs are going to change in specific ways. How are you going to respond to those changing needs?
Yeah, I think that's food for thought for us in this report as to what is a framework we should apply. Just like our clients' businesses have changed, banking and financial services has changed and continues to. We are at HSBC, we are ready for that change. We will continue to introduce new banking solutions and innovations. We are keeping track of cutting edge technologies. We are focusing on how to seamlessly integrate the best of those technologies across the different products that we offer today. And that's a constant process. So, all of this, as you can imagine, requires a lot of investment, and HSBC is committed to continuing to make that investment here in Singapore, but also across the different markets that we operate in. I just want to round up this by saying that whilst we've talked a lot about technology, Claressa, the fact is that as a bank, it's very critical for HSBC to effectively blend human interaction with digital solutions to make sure that we are delivering exceptional experience to our clients. I was with a client yesterday who was telling us that they did try out a digital only platform, and that service did not meet their expectations. And when they think about how HSBC blends these two things, this is where they want to be. So a lot to do.
A lot to think about.
Yes, absolutely. But we are very committed to this, and we are very committed to bringing the best in terms of technology and also the service proposition to our clients.
Priya, thank you for that. It's been lovely speaking with you.
Claressa, thank you very much. I've enjoyed this conversation. There's a lot for us to do, but really great to see that Corporate Singapore is with us on this journey for digitalization and innovation.
We look forward to some of those innovations. I'm Claressa Monteiro. Join us again for the next episode of Tech in Finance.
This episode of Tech in Finance podcast was presented by HSBC Singapore. This podcast is meant to provide general information only. SPH Media accepts no liability for loss arising from any reliance on the podcast or use of third parties' products and services. Please consult professional advisors for independent advice.